one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best?
Discover crypto, family. When are we going to get out of Discover therapy? When is this market chop going to stop absolutely jacking us about? Today, we have a hell of a show lined up breaking down a lot of things. And some of those things include this crypto price move that's happening right now for Christmas that nobody expected. Of course, also Wall Street. Are they laughing at us right now? Are they literally walking us into traps in both directions, just laughing at every movement we're making while they're setting up something that we are not prepared for? And of course, why is everything actually potentially still on schedule? And what does that mean? And then, of course, why everything happening right now is more important than we even realize. Welcome back to the Discover Crypto Show alongside Blockchain Basement Family and BitLab Academy. If you are here right now, you're going to make it because there are so many people. We see it in the metrics online of people just not paying attention in crypto content right now. So make sure you're hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, dinging the bell. And of course, make sure you're following me here on my page on x.com/Kelly Kellum. You can pull that up right now there. And then, of course, we've also got Druth. Make sure you're following Druth as well on his page, which is at Druth Crypto, which you can pull that up as well. This is hard without me hitting the keys.
Okay. It's a new paradigm.
I'm used to it.
It's a paradigm.
We got some great things lined up for today, but let me throw it to my co-host here really quick, Mr. Druth, the Druth Man Brown. How you doing, good sir?
I'm doing incredible. I'm having a lot of fun looking at the yelling in the chat. Discover Anguish. Let's go.
A good band name.
You know, it is a time where I'm consolidating even more. You know what I mean? Like the cheaper Bitcoin gets, the more Bitcoin I want. And thankfully, the quant provided this morning as well with some great trade setups. Most of those have hit take profit, but I'm going to keep an eye on the quant calls for you as well, Kelly, in case we have any new signals come about. And later on in the show, we're going to have Crypto Crank come up about 2:15. We'll bring him up, get his take on the markets. But I'm interested in the larger data you're looking at, man, because it does feel like Wall Street is just enjoying kicking us in the balls right now. So
no, I mean, absolutely. Let's just start with basically the coin market cap rankings and just look at the market. It's just red with just sporadic green without, I mean, look at these greens too. 0.14%, nothing, 0.01%. I mean, it's just minuscule gains anywhere if you're finding them. But the question is, what's going on? I looked over earlier today and I saw the price that actually Bitcoin was up to 90,000 and almost, I mean, basically in the next candle, boom, right up, right back down. This is where, and I was talking on the crypto town hall this morning about this move. Everybody was so excited. And I pointed out, you know, hey man, the price action was absolutely right at a known zone, which is this descending level of support here that now turned into resistance. And guys, I think there is still a bit more pain in store. And at that time, it's exactly what happened. We had the basically double washout in both directions. And we can actually, is this the price action we wanted for Christmas, everybody? Because apparently we're getting a Christmas tree on the charts.
I love this chart pattern. And also it reminded me of a chart pattern I remember from the early 2000s. It's the old George W. Bush pattern right there. I think that was like the 30-minute. It looks very, very similar. So, you know, people are languishing in pain right now. And there's a lot of feelings that things should be a lot better than they already are. But it just feels like this is the get off my lawn moment for institutions. They want us off the lawn. So,
well, I mean, this is what we're seeing right now in the chart, in the markets. This is what crypto is feeling like. I don't know why it's not playing.
Is that me? I lost my diet. Oh, God.
And this is what people are feeling like right now if they're trading with a bias. Not necessarily just trading, but if you're trading with a bias. I know plenty of people, you're making money trading, I'm making money trading, Crypto Crank is making money trading. So trading isn't necessarily the issue. It's a lack of basically balance of confidence, ego, but also strategy in these markets. And Wall Street is just straight up laughing at us. I mean, you can go to this chart right here. We can see earlier today when all this was taking place, we saw massive liquidations in both directions. $135 million liquidations on longs. Okay. And then very shortly after, $122 million in liquidations on shorts. So both the longs and the shorts, both just getting completely wiped here. And this is the name of the game right now. They're taking advantage of people trading on bias. And then clearly it's in the multi-$100 million ranges on basically every move because there's not confidence. There's not real risk perspective that's saying, hey, this is a move and we're supporting this, defending it going higher and higher, because the pullbacks aren't pullbacks. They're basically retreats back to the price that it broke out from and below those levels. So you got to be cautious here. And furthermore, what we're seeing coming all the way back, we're so quick to forget, October 10th. Now, what is this chart? This is from Crypto Seth. He says Bitcoin correlation with the S&P 500 and NASDAQ and tech companies was positive and significant. This is a correlation. You see them all following the same path. And then one of these things is not like the other is the theme of the story here. And that is right here on October 10th. We see a clear break in structure with Bitcoin comparatively with the rest of the markets. Now, why would this be? There's a couple things that we could really discuss on that. But if you really understand where Bitcoin's going, where it sits in sort of the forward perspective for institutions that are already getting involved, and many that are just on the horizon, on the edges of starting to get integrated and deployed into Bitcoin and crypto. But the fact of the matter is, this market, we want to think that it's big because it achieved over $2 trillion in market cap, but it is a minuscule asset in the global landscape. And so if this is a fixed asset with such beautiful forward-looking future ahead of it, then why would not institutions, coming back to the screen, why would not institutions want lower prices? This is what it feels more than anything like than there's a flaw in Bitcoin. Now, the other theory could also be maybe institutions don't just want lower prices. Maybe there's also, a sort of leading edge factor that Bitcoin has in the global risk landscape now, because it's 24/7 and it's 365, that it's more sensitive and immediate to act on huge liquidity, very deep liquidity in Bitcoin as well, to act on Friday nights, on Saturday, on Sunday, overnight, Monday through Friday. There's no gaps in when it's trading, whether it's the liquidity driver here in the US or even when markets close in Japan or in China or in Europe. So there's this sort of debate right now is Bitcoin not following gold up? Is it not following the M2 up? Or is it actually starting to emerge as an instrument that is a little bit more of a liquidity tool for you to navigate these markets when you can't do that with other assets? Curious your take on that, Mr. Drew.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely being used as some sort of tool. I don't know if it's a sex toy or not, but this is basically the Wild West in Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I think, might be pricing in a little bit too much of the Japanese yen carry trade fears as well. And really, like, what I feel like right now is there's a lot of questions in the chat, and I've been asked this for quite some time. Is the 4-year cycle broken? And I felt really weird about the design of the 4-year cycle ever since we hit the all-time highs way ahead of schedule and then sat there ranging for a really long time. Which kind of played into my openness for selling alts way too early. When I sold the alts, it was 2024. And by 4-year cycle standards, I was way too early to sell them. A lot of these alts are basically completely reset in their price action, even some of them lower, which honestly is kind of exciting to me in a sick way. I don't know. I like cheap crypto that I like. You know what I mean?
You said something there I'd love to highlight here. Pull this. I just searched on Google something every single one of you can do, but I'll do it for you. I'll bring you the alpha alongside Drew and our whole Discover Crypto family. Just look at these dates: March 2024, July 2024, and January 2025. These are the last times Japan had basically hiked their interest rates, which was a divergence from about 30 years or some massive amount of time since the last time they had done that. Now, what do you notice about March 2024? Japan hiked their rates, right? What also happened in March of 2024? We hit a new all-time high before the halving. Interestingly, right? And then
Yep.
what happened in July of 2024 into the first couple days of August? Let's look at the chart when we're looking at this, guys. So this was March 2024. Boom, we hit an all-time high before the halving, which was about right here, right? And then so we had a little bit of dumpage. We actually ended up getting another rate cut somewhere in here as well. And that what happened right here was Germany dumped their Bitcoin, and we got a Japanese yen hike or a rate hike. Boom. So we have explanations, or let me not say explanations. We have other things that could be considered large in part by themselves to be reasons for markets pulling back and the yen carry trade unwind. And then what we get here in what was this January 20th? That was inauguration day. So now we have the run up from the first crypto administration, or at least somewhat crypto friendly administration. Trump gets in office. And then what also happens right here, January 2025, we also got another yen, basically Japanese rate hike right in there. So there's been all these other stories that are also correlated very tightly to when these rate cuts have happened. So is this also now way more hyper aware? People weren't talking about this. I didn't hear one person mention a Japanese rate hike in March of 2024, right?
Mhm.
Did not use
Yeah.
that to explain the dump. And
There's
then
more of
we
a
tried to use
traditional.
that in after the Germany, but nobody talked about it really during the inauguration day dumpage that came after, because we also had what? Tariffs. So there's been other things packaged into this bearish narrative, not just the Japanese yen carry trade unwind. So the question now is, Drew, do you think that there's been enough of these rate hikes in the last year and a half to where, one, there's a much larger awareness around this, but two, it seems to me like a lot of the very major moves that would have been made likely have been.
Yeah. Well, the carry trade that you mentioned on that chart, back in 2024, that was like a true black swan. Like as you said, no one was talking about it. It came out of nowhere. And what happened was trillions of dollars got liquidated. It was a absolute bloodbath, not just in crypto and Bitcoin. Like, yeah, we went to 49K in Bitcoin, but there's trillions of dollars lost across markets. And that was kind of the canary in the coal mine. I think it warned a lot of people about the potential of further financial responsibility being a requirement of the Bank of Japan to try to save their own fiat currency, right? It's like, are they going to sacrifice their own fiat to hoist up all the other countries, especially the US fiat, or are they going to go into survival mode? And that's kind of what I think we're seeing right now, the Bank of Japan going into survival mode. And I don't think we had this on the other rundown, but this is worth noting before we hop into crypto crank section here, is China's economy. Now, a third of China's economy is within their property sector, which is absolutely collapsing. And housing makes up 3/4 of Chinese family savings. So it's not just China, it's not just Japan that's feeling the sickness monetarily. Fiat systems are breaking across the planet. The US and our dollar losing value, say 10, 11% over the last year or so, is conservative compared to the amount of losses that other fiat currencies are feeling right now. And we are going into the great unknown. Markets are locking up hard. Real estate is, we talk about AI being a bubble. Real estate is if we want to call AI a bubble, real estate is the fucking hot air balloon, right? I mean, it is a gigantic systemic risk right now with the over leverage in that. So, Pat,
bigger question for you. The reason why I don't know if you had me on camera or not, I turned around. I have two buffalo horn things that my dog eats, and she's munching away on them. And I just turn around when you're talking. She's eating the living shit out of, ate the handle off. This is a cup that I use for water, chewing up our plastic's bad for dogs, because she's might be having a razor blade coming out of her rectum here in the near future.
Things happen, and that's how you learn the best lessons in life, right? Is sometimes you got to get a couple scrapes on your rectum. Well, before we go further into the stories, Kelly, what do you think we bring up Crypto Crank and get his opinion of where the markets are at as well? I love it.
Let's bring up the Crank Man.
All right, let's crank it up. Crypto Crank.
What's up, fellas? What's going on? Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
sir.
Yes, I tell you what, I've been saying it. It's a cash cow, boys. It's still in its infancy. It's a cash cow. This thing, we could see it, dude. There's zero open interest right now, guys, with Bitcoin in this trading range. It was good to see that one of my mentors, Jason Casper, I love whenever I put out my analysis, and I see other great analysis, other traders with the same bias as me, man. And this was a pretty dangerous zone right here, guys. Everything that we were trading in on Bitcoin in this range, there is zero open interest to trade Bitcoin right here. I mean, zero between this $80,000 and $93,000. I know that everyone was saying that we could be seeing this this massive bear flag play out. I was kind of hoping that that it wouldn't, that this massive bear flag that was forming here, we're starting to break down, which is not good at all. But I was hoping that this was going to do something like gold, man. I was really hoping that it was going to just fake us out. What do I mean by gold? If we look real quick at XAU, we had the very similar pattern right here on gold, guys. Same thing. We came down, and I was like, guys, do not short gold. Do not short gold. It's in a parabola right now. And it kind of did the same thing. Look at this. Just kind of did the same breakdown. All right. And I'm just comparing this to gold because it looked very similar when I was looking at it, guys. Here, let me stretch it out the way we normally do. Here we go.
The way that you say parabola makes me kind of giggle. It kind of reminds me of this image right here. Throw this image up, Drew.
All right, let's do it.
It's parabols.
Parabols.
Because you say parabola. Yeah, I've never heard
parabola. Yeah, I was hoping, like, guys, I think this, gold did the very same thing. Look, we ripped all the way up. We had this flag. Everyone was like, oh my God, gold's going to break down back to this $3,500. We got this first initial breakdown and then we took off. I'm hoping, man, that maybe, I mean, it's very similar. I'm looking at it right now. It is very similar to gold. But the thing is, guys, is that Bitcoin, I said it last show, it's still in its infancy. CryptoFace said it a year ago. Dude, when you invite the ETFs, you invite the devil to dance. And we're witnessing.
Well, let me ask you a question real quick, though, on kind of comparing some of these charts. Because I mean, I agree. There's bullish hopium and there's also some bearishness. Throw up my chart real quick, Drew. Looking at the last breakdown, one of the things that we have not seen yet at all here, and look at this, we are kind of dumping right now. Look at, man. But that is this breakdown saw another subsequent breakdown with a just slightly lower low, but we had a very, very strong bullish divergence there that really gave us that opportunity to actually be bullish for a possible move to the upside. We got it. In this case, this right here looks very similar to this. So this is, to me, it wouldn't be surprising to test back to 74, 75. In fact, if we did something like this, I don't think we would go as low. I think we come down to, 78, something like this, just below 80. If we mimic this, because look at the RSI, we have the low and the RSI is much higher here. If we find any bottom with this coming anywhere near this low or slightly lower, it's looking like we could start forming a bullish divergence.
Well, pull up my chart, man, because I have that same exact level. If we just pull the fib, guys, from 50K up to the top here, we're on the money, baby, at this 76, 78 grand on the top. That's actually a macro golden pocket is right on that exact level that you're talking about. And you guys can see, I put the little, the little fingers here. We came down 3 times right into this golden pocket and held. Wouldn't be shocked if we do this and then we kind of sideways trade for a while. I think that me personally, I think that January and February, I was expecting a serious bath. You know what I mean? I was normally January, February, and then going into that Q2, man, we go, get some type of big relief rally. But my line in the sand has always been $92,000. I've been saying that for a long time, that if the fact that we can't get over 92 and hold for a day, not even a single day can we hold over 92 grand. Dude, this massive sell wall right up on top of this, right up on top of that right there. It's insane, man. This is not bullish at all. I am expecting on the 3-day, if we just turn on Market Cipher on the 3-day, and actually the 2-day, let's go to the 2A. I'm expecting Bitcoin to come down well below 70 grand. Well below 70 grand right here, dude. This has already begun. RSIs are super tight. Momentum's getting a little weaker to the downside, but dude, as far as this is concerned, the top's in for Bitcoin based off of Market Cipher on the 3-day, the weekly. Dude, the weekly's just getting started. This is not good. But I mean, let's just take it level by level. I will trade it from 80 to 90 grand. Me personally, dude, I love that we were trading inside of from 86 to $93,000. I mean, good
Can I ask
range
you
to
something,
trade,
Craig?
dude.
So the money
Yeah.
flow looks very downward projections.
Mhm.
The double green dot we haven't seen in a really, really long time.
Clearing
And
here, so 22.
right, like we were about 20% from the true bottom of Bitcoin the last time we had a double green dot on that daily momentum wave moving to the downside. And we do have the VWAP trigger wave within that as well. Are you giving that any
The
credence?
green dots are going to represent that a bottom is near.
Mhm.
It does not mean that the bottom is in. That a
Mhm.
bottom is close. And so and again on a weekly time frame, dude, these take forever. I mean, if we just measured out something from here to here, I mean, you're talking 126 days, dude. You're talking,
Well,
forever.
not only that, I just did the measurement as well. If we drop 20%, like you were saying, Drew, like we did when we got that last weekly green dot back near the bottom in 2022. If we drop 20% from here, that would represent price testing sub 70, down basically about $68,000, which ironically is right in this huge liquidity zone where all of this chopped and go all the way back to where these two previous range tops were. There's a lot of price memory in this zone. So again, even though I'm bullish on 2026, and I've been talking about this for about a month, it doesn't shock me to see the ultimate washout coming. We got some more stories in a little bit. We'll get into to cover that, but let's stay here with
Look
TA.
at the volume gap too. I mean, everything is just lining up right here, bro. I mean, this is we don't hold this. We could fall quite a bit, man. I mean, everything's lining up for this macro golden pocket down here, sub 70s. And just me, this was everyone's saying what's that chart that you guys use that this is like the hopium phase or the disbelief before we go fucking crazy. I don't think so, dude.
I don't really
mean,
use that chart kind of ever.
The Wall Street
but
psychology cheat sheet or whatever.
yeah,
cheat sheet, dude, for the
I don't like
psychology, I would say no, dude. I mean, as far as all my indicators go, everything that I'm looking at, unless we recover over $102,000, nah, dude, Bitcoin ain't touching a new all-time high. Really, 102 to 108, and that is a lot. I mean, dude, we just saw that 80, like the ETF outflows were parabolic yesterday. Like it was, they're fucking offloading it, dude.
I wanted to
And
go highlight something while you guys are here.
did you see, guys, silver? I think
Oh,
that
yeah.
they pumped gold, or they pumped Bitcoin all the way up to 126. Did a Wyckoff. This is just my story. All right. This is just what I think. They pumped Bitcoin so hard to 126, did a Wyckoff up here, and then they went right over into gold. And now we're seeing the same thing happen right over. This is I mean, again, we could just see it here. And if we compare this to XAU,
Looking for this
BTC,
comment, but
you
I
can
wanted
see
to
it
talk
here, dude.
about
Look what
this.
they're doing. This
Yeah,
is it's too perfect,
going
dude. That
nuts.
they're just and then silver. I think that they're bleeding out Bitcoin, and I think that the BlackRocks and the private equities. If we just look at silver, look at Bitcoin to silver, man, and silver is about to enter into that same parabolic move, dude. We're at 66. I told everybody, get ready. Everyone's like, oh, Crank. I was telling Flop and Groper this. He goes, I think the first of the year, silver's gonna have a bad time. I said, no, not my opinion, dude. I think that silver's getting ready to hit that parabolic phase, and we head right up towards $75 to $90, and this would be very, very, very equivalent to gold.
Yeah.
You guys could see when we ripped, we're barely right up in here on gold or on silver. We still got just the proper blow off top. And look, dude, I think that these ETFs are straight up cash cowing Bitcoin for gold and silver. And we see it in the charts. They're offloading that thing. And I bet you if we were to look at probably some silver and gold ETFs, if we were able to find Benjamin Cowan's tool and overlap those things, I'd put a pretty high bet, dude, that these guys they're they're blowing up these Bitcoin ETFs and just nuking the price on silver.
Well,
and
I
gold.
wanted to highlight too, because you mentioned Wyckoff, and a friend of mine, a great analyst in the space, Jesse Olson, he mapped this out about a month and a half ago. And I don't want to say I didn't take it seriously. I was a little bit more bullish then. But even with where we're at now, I still think we're going to get a bullish 2026. But he mapped this out. He drew this from this point, and this price has been following this. And this is essentially a Wyckoff chart method. For those that don't know what this is a charting pattern that was identified in like 1910 or something. This isn't Bitcoin or crypto specific. Remember, markets have been trading for hundreds of years, okay, if not thousands. And some of these patterns, essentially what you're looking at when you're looking at any pattern is you're looking at a visual graph of human psychology playing out in price action. Hope, fear, excitement, exuberance, denial, all these things. And they happen on repeat. So we are still seeing this. The question is, are we near a low like we've outlined here? Is the low 68,000? Is it 57? Is it 78? It's anybody's guess, which is why we look at the markets every day. And, we have to remember, as bullish as some people were going into October or maybe the end of this year, that we're going to have $300,000 Bitcoin. Well, a lot of even Plan C, somebody was calling him out on this, said, dude, you called for 200,000 to 300,000. It was unlikely if we didn't get that by the end of 2025. He made that comment in May of 2024. That was before the Japanese rate hikes, multiple ones, before the longest government shutdown in history, before the Trump tariff trade wars, right? That have just been ping-ponging off, shaking up the risk assessment of the market. So there is a dynamic change that has happened, it feels like, every month for the global financial marketplace. I don't think anybody really was looking at gold and silver last year, in spring of last year. Hey, gold's about to do 40% next year. It's like, wait.
But it was only based off of stagflationary worries. It wasn't based off of charts or anything like that. And, I've loved seeing the comments. Someone says, I look stressed. I love thinking about cheaper Bitcoin. Like, honestly, I'm slightly aroused seeing these lower prices being a potential. I know that it's
I'll start
kind of
buying again under 70, dude. I'm not going to wait till 50s. I think that Bitcoin's bottoms between 50, 60 grand, but anything below 70, I'm going to start buying probably a couple grand every week until we bottom, dude. Just start throwing every profit into it, because it's going to be so easy again. When Bitcoin does get past that 116, we're not stopping, dude, at 126. It'll nuke that price,
Yeah. Pretty simple process. What do you got, Kelly?
Well, no, I just got a couple things. We could keep crank on here for a little bit, but talking about going into the end of the year, some of these things are telegraphed based on historical patterns of what's going on, whether it's October 10th or not. Some of those things are this. There's been more than $30 billion in leveraged positions have been closed. Look, you can see this in the blue line here, this massive drop. So this is phenomenal. Now, this also correlated, the last drop like this did correlate with an upside, but remember, this upside happened after this sort of low with the lower low with the bullish divergence. We haven't gotten that yet. Now, I do expect us to go a bit lower. I think we're going to go below 80, but this is okay. What else is going on? Well, the slowdown, we're having a slowdown in activity as well. It's also followed a common year-end pattern. So this is something that tends to happen around the end of the year when institutional investors typically cut risk, take profits, close positions before closing their books, going to the holiday session. Also this leverage is coming off. Activity is also slowing across futures, spot markets, and ETFs. Similar to what Crank was saying, there was a lot of deleveraging on ETFs the other day. So there's been a lot going on, and that didn't even include trading volumes are down right now as well. So both exchange and ETF volumes are trending lower as prices are moving sideways. So we're getting a lot of this. Open interest down 50%, trading slides. So we're coming into the end of the year. There's lack of clarity about what's going on with government shutdown. Remember, that's still looming in January. The Japanese yen, the Japanese rate hikes, how that's going to impact markets, and also lack of clarity about what's happening with the new Fed chair. Every day, it seems like a new person all of a sudden is a front runner. There's not clarity for markets to expect what's going to happen in one quarter. So right now, as much as we want to be bullish in this moment for that holiday pump, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of these holiday Christmas trees on the chart showing. If you pull that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. showing these washouts in both directions on a regular basis until we get a bit more of a foundational understanding of some positive outlook looking into the future. And I think that's going to be until after January.
Yeah. Frank, did you do your Christmas shopping already? I'm asking
did.
everyone this.
My
You
wife
did?
is pretty awesome, dude. She knocks it all out, dude. She does everything, little things that I got to pick up for her and the kids. But yeah, dude, all the cryptos, I'm ready. I still think that we could get dude, after we could still see this Santa rally, guys. I mean, look at what we just did today. This was sick, dude. I thought that it was pretty awesome to witness Bitcoin, dude, go from, today's price action, dude. I was live. Dude, look at this, from 86 to 90 and then just a complete retrace.
Yep.
Dude, we could throw a nasty candle at any moment right back up into that 96. I still have targets of 96 grand, but it's got to be pretty freaking soon, dude, because if we start busting below 80 grand, then, dude, 96 is going to be $16,000 away. It's going to be, it's a lot of juice, you know what I mean, to get back up into this 96 right up in here. So what about you? Have you finished all your Christmas shopping?
You're damn right. Same thing. My wife's been shopping
right.
since I think September, I think is when she started it. So, I'm good to go on it. And it, trading in this environment has been really nice to have you in the Discord and that trading quant. All the take profits are being hit on both sides of the equation, the longs early in the morning, then the shorts on XRP, printing money all along the way and coming up with even more tether to buy Bitcoin as it rides downhill. There's nothing better than making new tether as you're getting cheaper and cheaper Bitcoin. I mean, that's how we grow the bags. Oh, Lord. What is this?
My wife showing everyone how much I lost in crypto at Christmas. Me about to say 2026 is very bullish.
That's the vibe. That's the
conversation a lot of people are going to be having this year for sure.
One thing for sure, man, I would keep an eye out. I was telling you guys 1040 Chainlink loves that 1040. I think that we're going to see I do think that we're going to be able to see the 1040 link. Let me blow this up.
So that's kind of your entry point, your restacking level for Chainlink. It's been a while since I bought Link, so I mean it'd be nice to top off.
I'm a little hurt, dude, right now. I mean, I bought that 200 G's at freaking 14,
oh,
15,
yeah,
and we're fucking down 30, 40 grand right now, buddy. I mean, I'm like, okay, so what do we do here? What do we got to do? And Chainlink really likes it does, man. I was telling everybody, Chainlink really likes that 1040. I have the levels marked out right down below. Let's go out to a weekly. You could see 1040, multiple touches right below in here. We always wick kind of down. These are kind of bad because then we're getting into the, the bear market accumulation prices, down in here. But I'd really be looking at this 1040. One project that I'm actually really worried about is AVAX. I can't believe for the first time that AVAX is being priced under Chainlink. I've never seen that. Chainlink is holding above, $12, $13, and AVAX, dude, is just dead right now. I mean, I think it's a great project, but I'm a little concerned, dude, that this thing
you see the video I just did with one of the original members of Avalanche earlier this morning, Crank?
I gotta watch it because
you gotta watch it, dude.
I gotta watch it.
You gotta watch it. He goes into a whole spiel, and basically where Avalanche is if they lose that 1010 wick level, $8 is coming quick. So
very quick. I think it should do that. I mean, dude, that's what, a 20% drop. I mean, yeah, dude, 20, 30. I think that the alts are going to do that. If Bitcoin comes down below 80K, dude, then you guys better be working. And I might end up going back to work for extra money, bro. These are going to be stupid because this is so easy for this thing to get back to $16. I'm just saying it's so easy for this price to get even just to 16 is a 30, 40% trade. These are some juicy trades. And I'm almost positive you would probably only have to sit in this trade, even if you bought it now or somewhere down in here, no more than 6 months. And I think you can get that 50%er. I think no more than 6 months. These are great trades, dude.
I mean, remember what we also have. I mean, it's frustrating. Clarity and market structure bill and those things haven't passed. I mean, we're not showing that right now. going into 2026, as much as some people are still like, they're sure of the 4-year cycle, I think we need to look things nuanced now. I think we need to look at the changes that are coming and how they can positively impact what's going on in the market. And the fact that the clarity bill and the market structure bill are kind of kicked the can down the road into Q1 sometime, maybe even Q2, that is another major bullish impetus that I think is going to further free up not only institutional players, stablecoin purchasing of treasuries. That's going to be good for the economy. But then also, I think that starts to signal a very quick flood of volume in the space, which I think will also translate to positive price action, especially considering the liquidity coming in to markets, for all these different stimulus packages, not just in the US, I mean, the world over. 135 billion already in Japan. They're doing another 118 billion. China's already done $1 trillion. The US has, I mean, it's like, okay, I just don't see myself. When I see somebody at a gas station putting gas in the car, I'm not thinking that they're not going to drive the car. They're putting gas in the car because the car is about to get freaking driven, guys.
Reasonable. Very reasonable. And, before we let you go, Crank, I know you're talking about an entry point on Chainlink, something that you might be interested in. Me personally, I have my own projects in mind, but is there any other altcoins that you feel or have been tracking for nice low entry points on? Should we get that further washout on Bitcoin and kind of seeing the rest of the market get drugged with it?
Yep. One other one that I'd be looking at, guys, if you want to show my screen real quick here, I'd be looking at Solana under $90.
Okay.
Dude, what did I just say the other day, Drew?
If like $80 or something.
If we lost 115,
$79, brother.
Yeah, we'd probably get a bounce around
$80.
100 and then a dip down into the $80 to $90 region.
Okay.
We clean it all out. We completely rinse it out. And again, macro, I love pulling these fibs, man. If we just go from bear market lows to the highs, man, I mean, we just dip right underneath. I want to see a nasty dip. You know what I mean? Like that final blowout where I mean, this is really Solana's first cycle where it's really performed. We have new all-time highs. This is very similar pricing to the early days of Ethereum. Very, very similar to pricing in the early days of Ethereum. One final flush right down into here, man, into this $80.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd say let's rock on out of here pretty strong. Especially now that it has that ETF, the Sol ETF. I think that this the other thing too, guys, is that these institutions with these ETFs, they know how to multiply this. Guys, it's really easy to put the circulating token supply, current price. They suck all the liquidity up at the top. They bleed everybody out, and then they know exactly how many billions of dollars to simultaneously juice this thing when the time comes. And I think that Solana is going to be that next coin. Chainlink, Solana. I'm actually kind of really heard about Avalanche, but whatever. And then of course Bitcoin, ETH. We didn't go over ETH, and then I'll bounce on out of here, guys. You guys can rock out your show. But Ethereum right now is at a make or break level. All right, 2650. You do not want to give up this 2650, man, or this thing can come down into the low twos. And if it does do that, I am looking to probably start buying. I want a better bet on Solana. You know what I mean? It's a remember I was showing you that AVAX can go 30, 40, 50% in a heartbeat.
Yep.
I don't think I'm going to see that same kind of gain. Do you see like up to $4,000 is that 30, 40%? And that's a big move for ETH. I would rather take those stronger projects. So I'm looking again, Solana, Chainlink, AVAX. Those would probably be the only three. I know the channel's big on some of these other coins like Plume, Morpho. I'd be really careful on Arrow, dude. I'll finally make my first Arrow purchase, dude, at 36 cents.
That was actually the only other one I was going to ask you about, because I see longevity in Aerodrome, but it is a victim of the loss of interest in altcoins. There's no denying that. And that's kind of the difference. Like I'm having to weed through all the crap that I don't think is going to be there next cycle for projects that are in my mind that I'm willing to buy. And like Aerodrome under 50 cents is the only thing I've done. What are you seeing on Aerodrome right now?
I will make my first purchase on Arrow. Remember I was talking about it being battle tested. that these newer coins, Morpho, Plume, Arrow, these guys have got to be battle tested if they're going to survive next cycle. Well, we're going through the first cycle where these guys are getting tested. So I'm looking at under 36 to 30 cents, man, and I'll finally make my first purchase. I'll probably drop $7,500 into here, and then maybe another $7,500 into here, and then I'm just gonna have to kiss it goodbye. You know what I mean? And just see, take those odds, man. If this thing's gonna rip.
Today's December 17th. Did we miss? Has any news come out from the Coinbase announcements?
I'll do the looking in the background while you guys finish up here. But I really think one more thing that I see in the chat a lot and that I escaped losses on. So I made actually a really good amount of money on Ondo, but I got out of the way when we hit $1. And now I'm looking at the chart. I'm looking at the flows on, like, it's still one of the top dogs for the Biddle Fund, but
here, you guys.
Flows feel bad on Ondo. What is your opinion about Ondo?
Oh man, I tell everybody in my channel, dude, when this sucker touches $1.07, you short the shit out of it every single time for almost an entire year, dude. Every single time we get up here, you short it. I can't believe I'm looking, dude. It's been 6 months. I've looked at it. 38 cents. Oh, dude. Yeah. I might actually buy my first thing of Ondo.
That's what I'm thinking. I know. I'm like,
look, we're holding the line here, dude. If Bitcoin breaks 80 grand, I think you're gonna get that opportunity to do something like a Whirlify did, something down below here, dude. I'm thinking something like I'm just saying something like 19 cents, dude. Something like 19 cents, right under. We just sweep those initial listing, you know what I mean? Just right underneath here.
Hey, we get negative rates in the Fed, man. Can we get some negative prices on these assets?
I think we could, too. Could you imagine? I mean, if we get down here below, I'll maybe I won't do 7,500. Maybe I'll do 7,500 on Arrow, and then the 7,500 on Ondo. I mean, I would take that bet. That's a good. I would consider this a gamble. You know, I think that the other ones have the ETFs. Their utility is much stronger. The use cases, I know Ondo has all these great fucking things that are going on with it, bro. But you know what? I've been sold too many utility narratives that none come into fruition. So at this point, I'm just gonna say it's a gamble. I would take this gamble. I would take this bet as a flyer. I would probably take Ondo over Plume and Morpho. I think Arrow's use case is super, super, super strong. But I would, if I was gonna buy those other two, I think I would rather take my gamble, my trade.
We'll deal with what's going on Morpho later. I mean, there's a lot of so we got, in order to correctly talk about Morpho's potential, we have to talk about Aave's position, and to even cover Aave's current situation takes an entire hour to do. I'm looking at the Coinbase official Twitter as well for you, Kelly. Nothing has come out new.
Oh, it's 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That'd be 5 o'clock our time. So it's going to be, it'll be after, it'll be this evening. But you know what? That's a big evening because we have this at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time starting. And then we also have Trump coming out. And apparently it's looking, I did some research on this. He's talking tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. But it's looking like he's going to be talking about what his agenda is in 2026. But we all know when Trump talks, whatever the tagline is for the mission of what he's speaking about, takes about 3 minutes. And then he spends an hour and a half completely talking about how Biden failed. And it's like, okay, bro, stay on your fucking track. What are you doing? Let's stop the bull. Let's don't talk shit about somebody because they died and you don't like them. Let's start being a fucking statesman.
On Aave real quick too, start backing up the truck under $100.
Okay, Aave under 100.
Dude, all the coins are in circulation. I think there's only like 16, 17 million coins. This thing has to pump. When it pumps, dude, it goes crazy. And that is a very, very easy trade. Anything underneath $100, man. Do you see what I'm saying? It's 100%. Like, it's easy. When this thing runs, dude, god damn, dude, this thing, when it runs, it's 70%ers, dude, in a straight shot. I mean, I
love trading Aave too.
Aave is good. Yeah, Aave is a good one, and Aave ain't going anywhere. I believe what TJ believes. It is going to be in the top 20 banks. It's a big boy. It is a lending machine, and I can imagine it even when most things are tokenized in the future, dude. Next 10 years, if everything's tokenized on a blockchain, that Aave is going to be a big player, baby.
Yep.
This is
Absolutely.
a
I love
big
the
one.
analysis, Crank.
right.
Huge shout out to you. And just before you go, let people know where they can find you, and then we'll hop over.
Just
Kelly's got some other crazy stuff we got to cover here.
Follow me over on YouTube. I'm always inside of the Discover Discord. Make sure to get inside of the Discord. A lot of alpha. They got a Chinese quant over there, man. That's kicking ass. I'm throwing out my trades as well in the Discord. But follow me at Real Crypto Crank on X or Crypto Crank on YouTube. I'll be going live probably later on today just to do some more live trading. See if we could try to catch something. But thanks, guys. Make sure to jump into the Discord and everybody subscribe and hit the likes, man. This is alpha. These boys are.
Hey,
We're coming out here and making sure you all are taken care of while we're out here doing this in a shitty day in the market.
that's right. We show up when the chips are
All right.
down, up, in between, and all around. Appreciate
I
you,
will see
Crank.
you guys next
Yeah, we love you,
Wednesday,
brother.
baby. You guys take
Yeah.
care.
What a guy.
What a guy. Yeah, so let's dive into back to some of these things. I got a couple more things I wanted to show, and it's tangential to crypto, but most important about investing and the destruction that's happening and why we're also interested in getting out of the hole. I mean, right now, with the spending and what's happening in the US, we are already, look at this, we're spending more on interest on our debt than we are on health, than we are on national defense, than we are on Medicare. Social Security is the only one that is larger. This is the second largest spending that we are doing now, just on debt itself. And remember, that's one of the reasons why we needed these rate cuts to really start happening. Why one of the reasons why Trump is kind of scrambling on that, because on the one hand, we don't want rate cuts and the money to be super free again, and then all of a sudden you have massive inflation. But on the other hand, we've got trillions of dollars that just so happen to, in this simulation we're living in, all becoming due here in the next couple months in 2026. And so we cannot really do it at the rates that things currently are. And that kind of exemplifies it with this. I mean, look at this chart. This is more value talking about real estate, but remember, Bitcoin's outpacing real estate now. This is the home price and then the average salary, average home price, average salary. Now you can just look at this. I mean, just absolute. I mean, salaries are not keeping up with the ability to live. This is 90s, 2000s, all the way into where we're at now. Look at that divergence. That is a divergence that I do not want to be a part of and be buried further under. So what do you make of that? What do you make of these two charts here?
These two things are the best selling point on the planet for Bitcoin, right? And it's the easiest way for me. Like if I have a family member, like they saw me buy a Bitcoin at 4K, right? And they saw me hammering into ETH at $180. They saw me do all these things, and now we've crashed down to $80,000. And they reach out to me. They still don't understand Bitcoin, but it is a great way to get them started on thinking about how to outpace inflation, right? And you mentioned the trillions. There's $9 trillion worth of debt that's going to have to be refinanced. And the current interest rate levels that the Federal Reserve has set are basically going to put us into a debt spiral, a cascade downward, Weimar Republic type situation, which nobody wants to see. So,
and it is not just the U.S. government. It's not just world governments. This is public debt. We have $33 trillion. Let me say that again. 3 with another 3. So many freaking zeros. $33 trillion, over $33 trillion. And this is looking, I mean, I don't even think this is 2023. I don't even know what the current one is. I just quickly searched this. This has gone parabolic. And this is at the same time and same pace, Drew and everybody out there, where we're also seeing record lows on savings. So on the one hand, we want to be super bullish, and we also don't want institutions in the market. On the other hand, you see that the end consumer, the retail player out there, the large majority of them are riddled with debt. They have no savings. There's no liquid capital. So there's the really only means for this market to see the bullishness that they want is coming from institutional players and people rolling over other assets into Bitcoin. But those people have money. Those people aren't the ones that are riddled with debt and no savings. So it's kind of a tricky position that we're in right now.
Yeah, when we get the taglines that our economy's strong and purchases are at all-time highs for products leading into this holiday season, There is data behind that, but the dark part of the data is that the vast majority of purchases happening with the middle and lower class right now are being done on credit. They're creating debt slaves out of most of Americans right now that are struggling. And then they talk about the jobs market's great. It's because people are having to take 2 or 3 jobs at a time to survive. And this is why maybe it's Bitcoin you're looking at, maybe it's gold, maybe it's silver, maybe it's some other hard-sided asset that you're looking at to try to outpace this inflation. I really do champion the focus in doing so. And really, if you think about it, Bitcoin being on cold custody, shout out to Arculus, our channel partner for cold custody, Bitcoin for long-term holding, or maybe in a Bitcoin IRA account, or holding silver and gold, or even hard iron goods, takes the control out of the central bank's hands with your money. And Bitcoin has never been about number go up for me. It's always been about power and control. And so when I see these opportunities and I can get, if it is as easy as just crashing back to previous all-time highs, give it to me. This is how I was able to change my life for what I feel like is forever. Like, I no longer view the world the same way. I don't view money the same way as I did pre-COVID. And everything has been completely changed. I have 4 kids that I've been able to provide really, really well for, because I've started to pay attention to these things rather than just sitting there with a negative victim mentality, going in and blaming my problems on other people. I took control of the situation, and that's how things are so much different for me.
No, I mean, I love that. I actually did a post the other day. I got to find it. I did it a few days ago. It's basically on that. I think we all forget. We forget that we're victims of ourselves. Really,
Yeah.
We really are. You know, set goals, take actions, practice faith and gratitude, whatever that means for you. But also remember, this anxiety that you're feeling, whether it's about a job, about a relationship, about life, about your health, is probably a signal you aren't taking appropriate action or don't have faith and gratitude. Taking action and having gratitude and faith will solve 99% of most stresses and issues that you're having. And sometimes that has to do with you just being persistent and having faith your actions are going to have follow through. But you got to measure those goals and those successes and those small wins, not just the absolute biggest dream of your life that didn't happen today. Did you get out of bed? Did you make your bed? Did you go and run this morning? Did you not? Today, me and Drew, we've been eating like shit the last couple months. And today we're like, let's go. Let's just get meat, no carbs, no fries, no mac and cheese, cake, no root beer. Nah. And it's like, it's weird that that's kind of a hard decision after you it of just trash. And the same thing happens in our lives. The way we respond to our lovers, our friends, our family. Everybody throw one in chat. If you have a conversation during the Thanksgiving holidays with a friend or family member that, you know, I don't want to say immediately, but very quickly after, you know, in the next 10 minutes or 24 hours, you're like, I didn't need to react that way. You kind of go into your old self. If you've done that recently in this year, throw a one in chat. We've all done it. I do it regularly. The question is, are we always going to hold everybody else being an asshole because the way they're reacting, we don't hold ourselves accountable? We need to see that. This sounds so cliche. We need to see the change that we want, right? Hold ourselves accountable, be more active, be more diligent in our planning and holding ourselves accountable to the strategies that we're taking. And most of all, be kind to others and help each other out, man. Let's help each other out.
You are banned!
I know that's weird time, and I just had to take care of something. Someone said 6-7 in the chat. You're out of here. All right, hold on. Now, as we head into this time frame, Kelly, there are ways to make more tether and prepare yourself, but you're going to have to be very involved. You're going to have to get involved with either DeFi, trading. You're going to have to get into the Discord. We have both options within the Discord if you want to take whichever route, you know, in crypto. But also diversification has been a thing I've been playing into. I think that the idea that we just got to roll over and wait for universal basic income to come in and really take all of our use cases away is the wrong way to play the next few years, right? I can't imagine. I think nuclear, crypto, AI, and then soon nanotechnologies. There's many, many ways to make great, great money in the markets. You just have to kind of ebb and flow with the movement of where the money's going, right? And you have to be adaptable. So that's kind of how I'm feeling about things.
Yeah, let's just keep our heads on. Let's, if we're frustrated, it's a good anything in life. In this case, let's talk about markets, but think about this with your family and your friends and yourself and all that. Forgive yourself for making stupid decisions this cycle. Ask yourself, do you have a plan? Hold yourself accountable and realize that if you got into this, especially Bitcoin specific, but if you got into the crypto market because you saw the opportunity that was here and you wanted to make some money, that's fine. But are you staying true to the goals and the strategy that you had in place? Did you come in as an investor, but then trade it all away? Those two things don't align. You can be an investor and have a separate allocation that you're trading, and those two things should never mix, except for your trading profits go into your long-term holdings. You never transfer out of long-term holdings into your trade because you're trying to fix your margin because you took a stupid, let's hold ourselves accountable. The market's in the best position it's ever been fundamentally, except we're mad that it's not happening today. We're not seeing the absolute green rockets.
Yeah, you said something super important within this too. It's having goals. Having goals in front of me, monetary goals, made it much, much easier to giant bags of altcoins in 2024. When it felt wrong to do, I met those goals and felt much more okay jeeting those bags. Because at the time we were like, oh, all tides are going to rise. All these altcoins are going to rise just the same. And that's not been the case, right? And I had specific goals of monetary accomplishment in mind. They just happened sooner than I expected. And it allowed me to pull that trigger. And now I'm kind of snooping around like a savage, looking at what of this pain that I'm going to buy. It kind of feels weird.
I've never sold my Bitcoin. I diamond handed from 20K down to 7. That is good. But that means if you never sold, that means you rode it all the way up to 126. So that's good. That's hard, and there's still people right now in this cycle that bought at 126 and are still holding. I think there's more knowledge now and more awareness around all this. And remember how you're feeling in this market and how you're responding to it. It really, and I don't mean to make this just a life podcast, but it's true. These things give you good indication how you deal with stress and everyday reaction. So we can kind of close off with this because I think this is a positive note. This is a post I did the other day that I was looking for. If things aren't fun, the market, your relationship, your job, whatever, turn your wonder back on. Educate yourself. Turn your cynicism off. Oh, this always happens. Oh, I'm a victim. When I buy, it drops. That doesn't serve you at all. Focus on doing. Focus on laughter. Focus on next steps. If you fuck up, what's the next step to get back on my path? Don't focus on your failures. Focus on next steps. Focus on tuning in, educating yourself, being aware, being ready when the time comes. And then you can also feel good when you tune out and carry on. Tune out and carry on means if you go out and have a burger or go to a concert or do something that's outside of the exact your main life mission, you can't just do that 24/7, 365. You will burn out and be frustrated because you have bias that's sort of wrapped in that. You've got to make sure you're diligent, taking steps, but then also tuning out. So when you come back, you're fresh. And then you feel good about tuning out because you're using your time properly. If you feel bad while you're tuning out, it means you're tuning out too damn often. So find joy in this journey, everybody. And let's stop just getting through it. We're going to get there together. The market's going to be choppy probably through Christmas. I'd be cautious. Even if we pumped up to 98K, I'd be pretty cautious because until we get past 116, there's no real bullish momentum happening. But I love you guys. Hit that like button. Hit that super subscribe button. We really do love you. Drew, you got anything that you wanted to close out with?
I mean, that was great. And, I mean what I say. Have goals. Don't get overexposed and don't go trading with money that you need for your rent. Just be careful, stay based. Time in the market will win. And if you don't already have your Christmas presents together, you better get on it, my man. So love y'all. Shout out to everyone in the chat. We got a great
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.